Hello everybody. So this time we are going to go over some materials for your next exam, okay? Alright, so everybody has your laptop or some kind of device that shows this attachment I sent you, and we are going to go over that, okay? This is exam 3, that one will be given. Number 1, exam 3. It's on Friday. As usual, it's going to start at 11 a.m. But this time I'm going to give you a little flexibility. So who knows, you find some part-time job recently, so you cannot really take it at 11 o'clock. So you can start anytime. The duration is going to be 75 minutes, just in case that, oh no, 75 minutes too long. It's going to be 50 minutes, 50 minutes to 60 minutes, and you can start anytime, but it's going to close at 6 p.m. on Friday, okay? So you are going to have a right schedule, so just prepare 60 minutes for your own time in a quiet place so that you can take the exam. Okay, on my MATLAB, of course. Number 1, yes, I picked the most important problem in number 1. Compute the difference quotient of f of x equals x squared minus 2x plus 3. Well, the difference quotient meaning f of x plus h minus f of x over h. So I'm going to go for this one first, f of x plus h. I'm going to compute that. What does that mean? F of x plus h means every x will be replaced by x plus h. So x plus h squared minus 2 times x plus h plus 3. So that gives you x squared plus 2 times this, so 2hx plus h squared. We finished the boiling, and minus 2x, don't forget we distribute minus 2h plus 3. Okay? So there is nothing you can simplify. So now we are going to go over here and the h. F of x plus h is this. So I'm going to copy. Plus 2hx plus h squared minus 2x minus 2h plus 3. Now we are going to subtract the whole quantity of f of x. So subtract f over x, so minus x squared. I'm going to keep using this, so change it to opposite. So plus 2x plus 3 is minus x. So see what happens. You are going to see very interesting thing over here. X squared minus x squared, so x squared is cancelled. 2x minus 2x plus 2x is cancelled, plus 3 minus 3 is cancelled. Do you remember what I said a while ago? The one sign that you are on the right track is the entire f of x is just wiped out, basically. Okay, everything is cancelled. So as you see, all the red ones are cancelled out. So what's left? What's left over here is 2hx plus h squared minus 2h over h. Do you notice that everything in upstairs has h in it? So factor h out, that gives you 2x plus h minus 2 over h. So now h and h cancelled. So final result is 2x plus h minus 2. We hit every note that gives you good sign over here. Good sign, first good sign is f of x is cancelled out. The next good sign is you can factor h out in numerator, And the third thing, of course, this h and h in denominator, they are cancelled, so your final answer has no denominator. Okay, so this is a very typical thing that's going to happen. Okay, the next one. So this is called difference quotient, and those who are going to take a calculus, this will be the very first kind of a challenge in calculus class. So I want you to remember what you did, okay, and basically you are going to, at that time you are going to remember what this is. That is going to be your job to remember that, and what this f of x plus h means. The next one is number 2. Let minus x squared plus y equals minus 5x plus 2. Rewrite the equation using function notation. What is function notation? Yes, function notation means we are going to use f of x over here. Well, there is no f of x in the given equation, so what do we mean by that? Well, we know that f of x and y, they are always interchangeable. So you can say minus, this is equals y, so let's leave just y by itself. So add x squared on both sides, make it y equals x squared minus 5x plus 2. So now you rename it, okay? So f of x equals x squared minus 5x plus 2. Okay, once you do that, now we can use, find f of 0, for example. You see, do you see the convenience of just substituting this any number for x? Okay, as long as this number is in the domain of this function, you will be able to replace and evaluate. So this is a very convenient notation for us. So 0, 0 plus 2. Therefore, 2. F of 3k. Now this is a very interesting case. F of 3k. Well, I said interesting case, but as usual, what did you do over here? When you have f of 0, you replace x with 0 every time you see x. Likewise, this 3k. 3k will replace every time you see x there. So 3k, yes, one thing you need to be careful about here is you must give a parenthesis around the 3k. Minus 5 times 3k plus 2. We have to remove those parentheses. So what do you have? 3 squared, 9k squared minus 15k plus 2. Okay, so this is the answer. So this functional notation means simply just gives you the flexibility how to rewrite things, okay? And it's just wonderful notation here. Number 3, finding equation of parallel and the perpendicular lines over here, okay? Well, we are going to find the equation of a line that is passing through 10, negative 1 and satisfy those following conditions. So A is that a line is passing through this and what? Parallel to the line 2x plus 5y equals 4. So parallel to this, that means they are going to have what? They are going to have the same slope. So your job is find the slope from here. Okay? So what is m? That is going to be your first task. So how do you find the slope? Yes, you are going to leave y by itself. So what do we need to do? Subtract 2x from both sides. Make it 5y equals minus 2x plus 4. And now divide everything by 5, so y equals negative 2/5 x. Yeah, I want you to individually divide by 4. So plus 4/5. That one separates this slope nicely. Okay, so this is a slope. And parallel to this line, that means it's going to have the same slope. So now we have a brand new game over here. Meaning you have y equals minus 2/5 x plus b, and this line is passing through 10 comma negative 1. So using this information, and we are going to determine this value of b. Okay, so what do? 10 goes for this x, and the negative 1 goes to y. So that makes negative 1 equals, plug in 10, 10 and 5 cancels, make it 2, so minus 4 plus b. Now add 4 to both sides, make it b equals 3. So now we got it. Y equals negative 2/5 x plus 3 is the equation that is parallel to this line and passing through this. Well, I did not ask over here, but this, my math lab is asking many times a standard form. So let's switch this one to standard form. Okay. Yes, we found the equation of this line. I'm going to switch this one to standard form. Anybody remember standard form? That is ax plus by equals c, and make a positive. So the very first thing is you are not going to see excuse me, you are not going to see a fraction in standard form. So from here, your first job, get rid of this denominator 5. So how do you do it? Yes, we multiply both sides by 5. So make it 5y equals 5 cancels this, so minus 2x plus 15. Look at this form. X and y have to be together, and x must have a positive coefficient. Right now x has negative 2 coefficient, so just add 2x to both sides. It will do the job. So 2x plus 5y equals 15. Yes, we got what we wanted. X and y together, and the coefficient of x is positive, and the constant by itself. So this is a standard form. Okay. The next one is the same condition. A line is passing through this, but this time is perpendicular to the line 2x plus 5y equals 4. Okay. Perpendicular lines have a property of having like a opposite reciprocals. You remember over here, this line has slope of negative 2/5, correct? Okay, slope of negative 2/5. Therefore, this perpendicular line has a slope that is opposite, so make it positive this time. Positive and the reciprocal, so that gives you 5/2. Okay, so in short, we have an equation y equals 5/2x plus b, and we must determine the value of b using this condition. Yes, the line the passes through 10 comma negative 1. So as we did before, we are going to plug in 10 and negative 1 here. Okay, so that gives you negative 1 equals, plug in 10, we cancel this 5 and 5, so that gives you 25 plus b. So now you subtract 25 from both sides, make it b equals negative 26. So our equation is y equals 5/2 x minus 26. Okay? There are more problems about straight line in the back, okay, in number 10. Next one, number 4. Assume that the cost to produce an item is a linear function, so that means y equals mx plus b form, and all items produced are sold. Well, we don't carry this inventory stuff. The fixed cost, yes, from here, fixed cost is $1,500 and the variable cost is per item, okay? Per item is $100. And once you make this one, and then it sells for $125 per item. So do you get the concept? Yes, we have to spend the money to produce things, and then we are going to sell it for $125 a piece. Okay. Write linear functions to model each of the following. Okay. Why can you say linear? Well, in the very first line, we assume that the cost to produce these things, everything is a linear function. So A, cost. We must incorporate both things over here, fixed cost and the variable cost. This variable cost meaning, like for example, here is video camera back over here, video camera back. When in a factory that produces those things, they have to have a facility. Okay, they have to turn on the power. They have to have some kind of insurance. Everything together, that is called the fixed cost. But for example, here, yeah, there are some kind of plastics here, the zippers over here, some, these plastic, some accessories attached over here. So in order to make this bag, you need to buy material and you have to have people to make this, all right? So that is called the variable cost. That's why it's per item. Okay? That is $100. So this cost, I'm going to use C of X. X is a number of items. So that is fixed cost, that one stands out first. Plus each one costs $100 and times X. If you want to make X items, yes, 100 times X. Okay. The next one, once you have this, yes, you are going to sell. So once you sell, whether you are going to receive a credit card or cash, anyhow, you are going to have some monies come in. That is called the revenue. So R of X equals 125 per item, so times X. Yes, the next one is, what is that? Profit. All you receive is your money? No, it's not really your money because you already spent some money and you are going to subtract that one from revenue. So profit is always revenue minus cost. So that makes revenue is 125x, and then subtract 1500 plus 100x. Yeah, this is each and every time. Yeah, I just see that some people make a mistake. You must use a parenthesis. Okay, so that gives you 125x minus 1500 minus 100x. That is, once you subtract this, you get 25x minus 1500. Okay? So that is a profit function. The last question about this is, what is break-even point? break-even point means, well, you spend the money and then you receive money. That is when the revenue equals the cost. Okay, so we may say you just recover the cost. So revenue is 125x equals 1500 plus 100x. So subtract 100x from both sides. Make it 25x equals 1500. Now what do? We are going to divide both sides by positive 25 over here. So 25, that makes x equals 60. Okay? You remember this is x means the number of items you are going to produce and sell. So that means, yes, when you make 60 items and sell all of them, you just recover the cost. After that, you are going to have a real profit. That's why this break-even point is so important for those business people. Okay. Number 5. So page 1 covers like very important and used in other areas. For example, here cost and revenue and break-even point. If you study business, you are going to use that one in accounting class, okay, and basic business administration class and the finance class. You are going to use that one a lot. Number 5. System, solve the system. So what do we mean by system? Well, I kind of just made it short, but system of linear equations. Not just one, sometimes 2 together, sometimes even 3 together, but at this level we are going to have just 2 together. 2 variables and 2 equations. So system, that is 4x plus y equals negative 23 and x minus 2y equals negative 17. So solve the system means you are going to find the x value and y value that satisfies both equations. Okay, not just one, but both equations. Alright, so how we are going to do that? In order to do this, I'm going to refer to this one as equation number 1 and the equation number 2 over here. The first, I suggest that you solve the same system with 2 different methods. The first one is a substitution method. What do we mean by that? So for example, look at this number 2 equation. We can see easily that x equals, can you add 2y to both sides, make it 2y minus 17? Okay? So in other words, we can substitute this 2y minus 17 for x over here. So we are going to use a substitution, and this one will be used for here. Okay? So this is 4 times 2y minus 17